Welcome to episode 4 of Hanging with the Monkey, OddsMonkey's official podcast. This week we are turning our attention to football. We've got 3 massive cup finals coming up next week or so: the FA Cup final, Champions League final, and the Championship playoff final, the most expensive of them all. As ever, joined by 2 match betting experts. We've got Ricky from OddsMonkey.
Oh yeah.
And we've got Phil from TrickyBet.
Oh yeah.
So, as we said, we've got 3 massive games coming up this week, but we haven't looked at football very much in the podcast before, so we're just going to have a quick look at maybe some footballing tactics for the match bettors. And Rick, the obvious one is in play. Not as prevalent as it once was.
No, not as it once was. There's still some offers around, and quite hopeful of the Bet365 in play offer at least raising its head once across the 3 matches. But as far as tactics go, nothing set for it. You just take each match as it comes. Use the offer calendar, make a list of any offers that I'll be interested in completing, and just if I'm going to watch the match, just have the laptop out and act accordingly. If not, just use an alarm, set an alarm up for any action that you might need to take place in play, and correct any bets off, and perhaps wait till half time when there's no activity, there's no risk of a goal going in that perhaps ruin any bets. And
Phil, obviously we see tactics with match betting comes into everything massively. And with football, you have to be careful, don't you, with in play when it comes to tactics. You have to be you have to pick and choose carefully.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of them want you to place your qualifying bet in play as well as your free bet. So you have to be careful, because if there's a goal, it can ruin your bet. So the best tactic is to wait till half time. Because I know it's happened to me before. It's probably happened to you as well, Ricky. You place your bet, the match is going, and before you can lay it off, there's a goal, and you've placed a bet that is now redundant, and that money's lost. You can't lay it off because if you bet on the correct score, so you bet on 1-0 and it's now 2-0, your bet's ruined. So wait till half time, and then you don't even have to watch the match. Just set your alarm for half time, see what the score is, get your bets on, and you're done.
And obviously, Rick, we've seen that we saw with the Grand National, the bookmakers, they're not embracing the public as much as they once did, and the offers aren't there's not as many offers not as numerous as there were before. And I think we're probably seeing that, aren't we, with the FA Cup final this week? There's not offers popping up all over the shop, is there really? And that's a surprise, but it's probably because they know everyone's going to back on the FA Cup final anyway.
Well, they know, it's been the profile of the finals. They know they're going to get a certain amount of business anyway. So why try and encourage certain people who are going to be placing bets with any other offers or bonuses? But there's still plenty to be going around with. It's a bit early for the Champions League final yet, but hopefully towards the weekend and towards the following weekend with the Champions League final, we still seeing some worthwhile offers come about. We'll go through some of the offers shortly, but it's not as big as it once was, but there's still enough to be going on with.
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's kick off with the first one, the FA Cup final, and obviously this will be a good indication of what we've got to come. Who's that first? Phil, do you want to have a quick chat about the FA Cup final? This one, it's Chelsea, Man United. Obviously, if you didn't know, Jose Mourinho again looking to get one of his former team. When it comes to offers, if it's not available for the FA Cup final, we're not going to see it for the other 2, are we? So the FA Cup final will be a good indication of what we've got to come, even with the World Cup as well.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, there's not that much in the FA Cup final because it's a big betting day anyway. I think one thing you should look at is look at any bookies that you haven't signed up to yet, because a lot of the smaller ones take these matches as an opportunity to get new custom. So all the big bookies have got all the customers anyway, so they don't tend to do that much. They'll maybe do an in-play offer or a little offer here and there. But some of the smaller bookies like Sport Nation have got one on, I think. They see it as an opportunity to put a really good offer out there to get people signed up and get them betting with them instead. The one offer I picked out, it's not a sign-up offer, but it's a Betway one. I like the punt ones, as you know. So we've got bet £5 on the FA Cup final, and you get £10 in free bets. So this is a bet your way offer, and a lot of the bookies are moving towards these. like Paddy Power do pick your punt, and Sky Bet do one as well. Basically, you can't lay these bets off because they force you to bet on certain markets, which are weird, and the exchanges don't offer markets for them, so you cannot lay them off. But this one, you can put your £5 and you're going to get £10 back anyway as a free bet. So worst case scenario, you're still going to be £3 up at the end of it. But you know, if your punt wins, you're going to be a lot more than that. So you get a £5 free bet just to use generally, and then you get a £5 free bet to use on the World Cup as well. So that was the one I picked out for the FA Cup. Have you got any, Ricky, that were better than that?
No, not to say. I'll just refer back to the Sport Nation offer. You've got they're concentrating on the FA Cup by placing opening a new account for the FA Cup and then placing your free bets on the World Cup. So I think that's a decent offer to point out for those who have perhaps not got the Sport Nation accounts. It's a pretty decent offer where if you deposit up to £500, it might be a bit extreme, but you haven't got to go that high. But if you were to deposit £500 and place that on the FA Cup final, you're then going to get 4 £50 free bets across each stage of the World Cup. So there's, doing it match betting wise and, laying off each bet, you could be looking at about £140, £150 profit across that. So, yeah, it's one to, if you've not got a Sport Nation account, then definitely one to open up with. You can go as low as, £10 free bets, etc. But full ball, £500, 4 £50 free bets, you're looking around £140, £150 profit.
Was it 4? I thought it was 5.
Is it 4? Bear with me. I thought it was 8. The group stages, the...
Either way, if you're going to do this offer, make sure you've got the money in the exchange. If you're going to do the full 500, we get a lot of people asking us about that. They've placed the bet and they don't have the betting bank to then lay it off. So you've got to be really careful. If you are going to go for the full £500, you're probably going to need 1,500 in the exchange to lay that bet off.
It is 5 bets, so yeah, you are right. £250 in free bets if you bet the initial £500 to begin with. Yeah, so each stage, the World Cup, group stage, last 16, quarter, semi, and final.
And as I've said, it's very early for the Champions League and playoff, but again, we're not expecting a whole glut of offers. Are we here, Rick? There's going to be the odd one. We're probably fortunate that Liverpool are in the Champions League final, and that'll probably encourage a few more offers, won't it, from the bookmakers with Liverpool and Mo Salah being in there. That'll probably help us out a bit.
Hopefully, especially with the UK-based bookmakers. I feel fortunate myself being a Liverpool supporter. I thought I'd drop that in there, but yeah, it's hopefully with the English side being in there, and also against Real Madrid, another high-profile European team. It should hopefully get some more interest. I'm still hopeful of this Bet365 dropping their in-play offer in there as well. Yeah,
and I said the same with the playoffs, isn't it? So let's get around to some picks for these games, guys. FA Cup final. Where do you think it's going to go? I'll kick this off. I can only see Man U win. I was picking a bet. I'd say both teams to score, but Man U to win. This one, Phil?
Yeah, I think it might go to extra time and even penalties this, because I think both of them seem quite nervous about going forward at the minute, and neither of them are that great at the back either, so I think it'll be quite a cagey affair. So yeah, go to penalties and Man United to win on penalties.
Ricky?
I'll give him my previous comment. I can see it being a really tight game. I can't see there being plenty of goals. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win by the odd goal in the 90 minutes.
And you lead us away with the Champions League final prediction. How many Liverpool are going to win by, Rick?
I'd love to say they're going to win, but it's. I think it'd be an open game. Both teams play football where you can only see goals happening. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 win again, 90 minutes, and the main man Salah scoring the winning goal. Yeah,
I think one bet which I know one bookmaker already is going to do will be Salah and Ronaldo scoring offers. There'll be quite a few of those. So when that comes in, I'll be doing a Ronaldo and Salah both to score, and just Real to nick it, I think. Phil?
Yeah, I think Liverpool are lucky enough to win it, but I think Real Madrid probably want it more. They've got these, so many different records they're going to break if they win this one. Is it 3 in a row?
Yeah, unprecedented. Yeah, in the Champions League era. Yeah.
And I think when it comes to Champions League, Ronaldo just wants it so badly that I think Liverpool won't be able to cope with him on the day. So I think the best Liverpool can hope for is again to take that one to extra time and try and win it on penalties. But I think Real Madrid will win 90 minutes.
And then we go on to the most expensive game in world football, the Championship playoff final. Looks a cracking contest this time around. Villa and Fulham. I think I can see Villa scoring here and trying to shut up shop, which I think will set it up for corners. So I'll say Villa win, but corners over 10.5. Ricky, who do you think is going to be? Who are Liverpool going to be playing in the Premier League next season out of these two?
Again, I think it'll be another tight game. You've got the more adventurous in Fulham. But as I say, I think Villa are going to hold out, be more defensive based, and then again, I think be by the odd goal again in 90 minutes, Aston Villa to win.
Yeah, I mean, Villa shut up shop against Borough pretty well, unfortunately. But I think Fulham deserve it, and I think they're gonna win that game. I think Villa are going to make a mistake of trying to hit them on the break, but I think they'll be overwhelmed by Fulham. They're just on an absolute roll at the moment. So Fulham for me.
Well, that's great. Well, obviously we'll be back next time with a French Open special. This time next week, we'll be having a quick look at what the next major in the tennis season holds, and Ricky and Phil will be talking through some of the tools we have on site for that tennis match particularly. And we will be bringing a World Cup special. So obviously, don't worry, Rick, we're encouraging all members, all non-members to send us in the questions, any scenarios they've got, any issues that you and Phil can help them with. And that's what we're trying to encourage, isn't it, Rick?
Yeah, if any questions anyone's got, anything to do with match betting, any scenarios, any offers, any problems or issues they may be having, just drop us the questions and we can go through in detail and get it resolved for them.
Yeah, that's great. So thanks very much for joining us for episode 4. We'll be back with episode 5 this time next week.